The Cheeseboy 628 Show, starring Cheeseboy 628.
Hey YouTube, what's going on? This is Cheeseboy628 here today, giving you a Theory Thursday. And what may it be this week, you ask? Well, it was requested a couple weeks ago, but now we are getting into Bisharp. Now, my theory for Bisharp is that it will remain in UU like in 5th gen, but it will definitely be usable in OU. Now, let's take a look at its base stats. Its attack stat is a pretty astounding base 125, and it has a decent 100 defense stat, but its rest of its stats aren't that amazing. Now, Bisharp definitely has an amazing move pool, but it is still countered by bulky waters and bulky ground types and really just offensive fighting types in general, and there are plenty of those in UU. You can name Virizion, Cobalion, even Hitmontop being a defensive fighting type can definitely do some damage to Bisharp. Plus, there are bulky pokes like Suicune, which can retaliate with a skull that could potentially burn, or they could just roar Bisharp out when it's trying to set up. Plus, there are some bulky ground types like the dreaded Glagger or even Swampert that can just retaliate with an Earthquake and probably take down Bisharp to a relatively low amount of HP due to its relatively low HP stat. Now, that's really all of the negatives I can really come up with for Bisharp. After all, it is a really good Pokemon, and the only reason it can't go up to OU is because it's still manageable in UU. Just because something has some high usage in OU doesn't mean that it's too powerful to be in UU. Now, if there's one ability you want to run on Bisharp, it is definitely Defiant, and Defiant raises your attack stat 2 stages as long as any of your stats, including attack, just go down 1 stage. So if you lose 1 stage in attack, you go up +2 and you will end up as +1 attack. Now, Defiant was already useful against our most common intimidators such as Lando T, but now it's even more useful in 6th gen because of Sticky Web. If Bisharp comes into this stage and Sticky Web is in effect, sure, it'll lose 1 stage in its speed, but it'll go up to +2 attack instantly, and therefore be extremely threatening, especially when carrying a Life Orb. Now, besides the power of Defiant, Bisharp is already naturally super powerful against a ton of OU threats. Since Dark basically got a buff this gen, since Steel no longer resists, it's able to be much more powerful with the priority Sucker Punch. This means with proper prediction that Bisharp has the potential of countering Talonflame, which is a very common OU threat nowadays. Bisharp is also known to be able to counter Aegislash. Even a max HP defensive form Aegislash can be OHKO'd by a Life Orb Jolly knockoff from a Bisharp. This is because of another huge buff to Dark types this gen, with knockoff being boosted from 20 base power to 65 base power, plus the 50% boost of hitting a poke with a held item, and now it's getting knocked off, which is amazing for a knockoff user. I also think Bisharp's typing allows it to retaliate against fairies with a very powerful Iron Head, as opposed to some pokes that can't even touch fairies such as Scrafty. So that will be my theory for this week. Bisharp is definitely a very powerful threat that should not be messed around with, and it will definitely be seen quite a bit in UU and definitely in OU as well. So please suggest some more ideas for me to do in future Theory Thursdays, but that will be it for this week. Thank you all for watching. Like, comment, sub, and until later, peace.